Hey crew, it's Ben, and I'm back with another reaction video. Today we're going to be diving back into some Tupac. Uh, this is a 1994 MTV interview. I was sent a few interviews. I'm probably going to do most of the interviews, as well as doing some of the music. I'm going to try and do maybe an interview and the music once a week, just to get caught up on the history and to know what's going on. And this one seemed interesting, so I'm going to go ahead and check it out. This is a 1994 MTV interview. I want to do the interviews because I want to see him in conversation. Music's one thing. You get a lot of information from what somebody puts into the energy of their music, but you get a lot more out of the interaction between two people. The last interview I did, where it was Tupac, it was great, and so I want to see this, and we're gonna dig in and see what's up. Let's go.
I learn, you know what I'm saying? I come back stronger. You know, I'm not talking ignorant.
Oh wait, I got sent the link, and it was 30 minutes in, or 30 seconds in. So let's back it up, catch it from the top.
Or the controversy.
Right.
What do you think you're most known for? Your acting, your music, or the controversy that surrounds you?
My big mouth. My big mouth. I got a big mouth. Can't help it. I talk from my heart. I'm real. You know what I'm saying? Whatever comes, comes. But my controversy probably. And it's not my fault. I'm trying to find my way in the world. You know, I'm trying to be somebody instead of just make money off everybody. You know what I'm saying? And so I go down paths that haven't been traveled before, and I usually mess up. But I learn, you know what I'm saying? I come back stronger. You know, I'm not talking ignorant, you know what I'm saying? So I obviously put thought into what I do. So I think my mouth, my controversy. I have not been out of the papers since I joined Digital Underground. I've been in all, you know what I'm saying? It's never, my name has not been not uttered, you know what I'm saying? And that's good for me because I don't want to be forgotten. And if I'm forgotten, then that means I'm comfortable. And that means I think everything is okay.
It's interesting how hip-hop, rap music in the beginning, or a song like Grandmaster Flash's The Message, where basically they were saying, you know, it's like a jungle sometimes. I wish, you know, I wonder how I keep from going under. The whole root of what that song was basically saying, look, these are the problems here. You know, and here we are 10 years or plus later, the problems are still there, and the intensity of the
Now it's 10 years later then, and we're what, 30 years later from that?
music has built to the no hope, the I don't give a attitude. How did we get from Grandmaster Flash, The Message, to where we are now in hip-hop?
Again, you have to be logical. You know, if I know that in this hotel room they have food every day, and I'm knocking on the door every day to eat, and they open the door, let me see the party, let me see like them throwing salami all over I mean, just like throwing food around, where they're telling me there's no food in here. You know what I'm saying? Every day. I'm standing outside trying to sing my way in. You know what I'm saying? We are hungry, please let us in. We are hungry, please let us in. After about a week, that song is going to change to we hungry, we need some food. After 2-3 weeks, it's like, you know, give me all the food, breaking out the door. And after a year, then you just like, you know what I'm saying? I'm picking the lock, coming through the door, blasting, you know what I'm saying? It's like you hungry, you reached your level, you don't want any more. We asked 10 years ago. We was asking with the Panthers. We was asking with them, you know, with civil rights movement. We was asking, you know, now those people that were asking, they're all dead and in jail. So now what do you think we're gonna do? Ask, and we shouldn't be.
All right. That's a whole lot right there. I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to piss some people off. Y'all going to get mad at me? Y'all ready? You ready to get mad at me? Anything, and I don't care what it is, anything based on melanin is going to fail. Period. It doesn't matter what movement it is. It doesn't matter what you think that you're trying to accomplish. If it is based upon making a decision by melanin, it is doomed to failure. God has accursed that. You are all his children. Every single person watching this, regardless of where you are, what religion you follow, what nationality you hail from, you are all created by the same creator. And to differentiate by the tone of skin that he made you with is a little bit ridiculous. Actually, that's a whole lot ridiculous. And that's coming from somebody who was raised to do that. That is a narrow mindset that will never, ever achieve anything but destruction. It is impossible for that mindset to do anything but destroy. And it does not matter whether you're talking about much melanin or little melanin. It does not matter at all. Anything designed and the decisions being made based on melanin is going to fail. If you don't believe that, look at this administration. Right now, it is all based on melanin and genitalia and sexual preference. And all of it is a failure. All of it. God wants us to come together as a human species and everyone rise together. That is a thing. It has been a thing all the way back through the history of ever. Jesus said there is but one commandment. That is to love the Lord thy God with all of thy heart, thy soul, and thy mind, and to love thy neighbor as thyself. That is the sum of the law. That is all that we are supposed to do. He asked him, who is my neighbor? Everybody is your neighbor. Now, you can protect yourself from aggression, and you should. And you should come to the aid of those being aggressed upon. But you should never be the aggressor in any manner at any time. And that is coming from someone who was a terrible person. I used to fight people all the time, just for the hell of it. I used to get drunk and fight people. I used to get high and fight people. I used to be sober and fight people. It was just fun. Like, the first few times I got my ass whooped, it hurt, and after that, it didn't. I didn't care. It was a wrap. So, you should not be the aggressor. That is the wrong path to be on, regardless. You should not be making any decision based upon melanin, regardless. And I told you I was going to piss you off.
Angry, and my raps that I'm rapping to my community shouldn't be filled with rage. You know what I'm saying? They shouldn't be filled with the same atrocities that they gave to me. In the media, they don't talk about it. So in my raps, I have to talk about it. And it just seems foreign because there's no one else talking about it.
Right. Well, playing devil's advocate, somebody might...
And I am for exposing any time that it is an actual racist thing. It was different in the 90s than it is now. Some people may not believe that, but I lived through that. Here's the problem, right? Is it's not the same everywhere in the country. Here in the South, we kind of got along in the 90s. Like, there wasn't much bad blood down here in the 90s. There was in all of these places that happened to be run by Democrats. Now, you can take from that what you will. I'm not trying to get into a political spiel, but all of the places that there are issues, like the issues that he is talking about, occur under the same type of leadership with the same people spouting the same nonsense. Malcolm X warned about the liberals. So I don't believe that race is the way, and it doesn't matter what race it is, whether it's La Raza, which is a problem too, or whether it's my melanated brothers or my brothers without the melanin. Like, all of us are the same people.
Say, well, what does Tupac have? He's a movie.
But I don't get mad. Like, when they call out racism, I don't have a problem with that, because it is a thing. Racism is still a thing. It still pops its head up every now and then, but it's a lot less powerful than most people believe. Even among racists, they don't really make the decisions that they want to. Like, they know the law, they abide by the law, and it helps the culture to die. But you can't just aggress and kill off racists. You can show a better way, and that's the way to go forward, is to show a better way, not to hurt anyone.
Movie star, he's got, hit records. What does he have to complain about?
And I'm going to tell you, it's like being the last person alive. You know what I'm saying? after 3 days, you can't do anything. What can I do? Where can I go? There's no black neighborhood, you know what I'm saying, with black people who have the same amount of money as me. You know what I'm saying? There's richer and there's poorer. There's no just, you know, did a movie, got a little bit of money, living okay, black neighborhood. I have to be in a white neighborhood, so I don't fit in. That's hell.
See, that's a problem, though. That right there, that is racism. Somebody just got mad again. My neighborhood is multicultural. It is. Like, my neighbor 2 doors down is black. The one across the street right here is black. The one 3 houses up is black. The guy over here, like, we got Mexicans. We got Sikhs. We got a wide diversity of people right here. There's no fucking problem with that. Why do you need to isolate? Like, why do you feel the need to surround yourself in that way? Like, that's an insecurity. And that's where racism stems from. It's from insecurities. Like, I understand what he's saying, so don't get me mad. Don't get me wrong, right? Like, I do understand what he's saying, that he doesn't have anywhere that he can feel safe in his level of wealth, right? There's richer people, there's poorer people, but there's nobody at his level. But I mean, Tupac was at a unique level regardless. Like, that's the top percentage of people. Like, I will never see the type of money that Tupac made. I will never see that. Like, if you took all of my earnings together, ever in my life, it doesn't equal that. That is a top percentage. And so, when you get into the racial percentages of the country, like, there has to be a certain amount of disparity, because 70% is this, 30% is this, right? And that's very broad. I know those numbers are not accurate. I am simplifying for the purpose, but so it's not unusual that only 30% of the people on that level would be melanated. Now, then you get into breaking that into further ethnic groups, and you get to breaking that into further disparities. Like, you can break disparities apart however you want to. They did it for years when slavery was legal, when black people were considered a completely different race. They did the same thing to the Irish. They did the same thing to Native Americans. They did the same thing to the Acadians. They did the same thing. Like, somebody's always going to find a reason to be the other. We need to find the reasons to be together. Like, that's all I'm trying to say is we need to quit focusing on when we need a black neighborhood. How about find a neighborhood where you're welcome and then build a community? Like, there are neighborhoods I can't go to. There's neighborhoods I could move into, but I don't want to live there because they don't accept me. Like, and that goes for both sides of the spectrum too. Like, there's crazy pockets of shit everywhere. You know it as well as I do. There's some places you can't go. I can't go to the avenues in Baton Rouge. Hey, I can't just go walk down the street down there. I promise you that. And there are places out here in Livingston Parish, out in the country. I can't go walk down them streets either. And it ain't none but white folk out there. So, I don't know. It's just, there seems to be so much focus on that it's terrible. It's a terrible thing.
It's hell when you can't be around your peers. All my life I grew up around black people, poor people, but I can't live around poor people now because they'll rob me. And why would they rob me? Because they're starving, because there's no money here. But they're telling me, now that I made a little money, I have to move here. So it's not like no one's ever trying to deal with this section. They're just moving away from it. And we're going to have more stars coming from the ghetto, but they're gonna all move this way. You know what I'm saying? So it's like all the society is doing is leeching off the ghetto. They use the ghetto for their pain, for their sorrow, for their culture, for their music, for their happiness, for their movies, to talk about boys in the hood. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be I don't want to be 50 years old at a BET We Shall Overcome Achievement Awards. You know what I'm saying? Not me. You know, I want when they see me, they know that every day when I'm breathing, it's for us to go farther. You know, every time I speak, I want the truth to come out. You know what I'm saying? Every time I speak, I want to shiver. You know, I don't want them to be like, they know what I'm going to say because it's polite. They know what I'm going to say. And even if I get in trouble, you know what I'm saying? Ain't that what we're supposed to do? I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's
And I'm with that. I'm with that.
Our job is to spark somebody else watching us. We might not be the ones, but let's not be selfish, and because we're not going to change the world, let's not talk about how we should change it. I don't know how to change it, but I know if I keep talking about how dirty it is out here, somebody going to clean it up. I was having
We would hope so. We would hope so, right? That's what I'm doing, actually. Like that's part of what I do here. Like, I talk about mental illness, and I talk about racial issues. I talk about shit that people don't want to talk about. And I talk about it in an honest manner. Like, when I say shit, y'all, I ain't trying to impress no motherfucker out there. I promise you that. It is nice to be monetized on YouTube. It is nice to finally have a little bit of income coming in, because y'all don't know it. I've been in a tough spot for a long, hard minute. And so it's nice to have this grind, but if it went away tomorrow because I told the truth, I'm okay with that. Like 100% okay with that. And I call out racism where I see it on either side of whatever. I got called racist yesterday because I was talking about a video, and I'm not going to say which one, but they called out the Jewish conspiracy, and they used a slanderous term for Jews. And like, I called out that racism, and I got called a racist for calling out racism. It is racist regardless. There's no reverse racism. It's racist regardless. And we have to call that out. We have to be able to be the example of calling that out. Now, if I saw somebody being racist and it was a white dude against a black man or a Mexican man or an Arab or whoever, I'm going to step up into that spot. But if I saw a black man doing the same shit to a white man, I'm still going to step up. We have too many people that will step back and be like, well, it's okay because he's black. Black people can't be racist. I lost a friend behind that. So somebody that I had worked with, and we had both served, and so we became friends, and we were Facebook friends, and like we talked and we talked, but she got on that racist shit, and I was like, look, that is racism. I'm sorry if you don't find it that way, but it is. And so she left. She bounced out, and it's whatever. And like, it was never a sexual thing. There was like, we were just friends. We just talked. But I can't tolerate somebody being racist. I just can't do it.
Concerts, they were sold out. White boys, Mexicans, blacks, and they would do whatever I said. I could tell all those people in the audience to turn around in a circle, and they would do it. I was having love. I mean, like undeniable love. And I was scared. I was scared that I would come to a town and I have the leader of the gang there telling me, what do you need? I was scared. But so was America. So was somebody else, because all of a sudden I had all kind of legal problems. And you have to think about this. I had a clean record for 20 years. A clean record, living in the ghetto, in the gutter, no record. What about my morals then? What about my character then? You know what I'm saying? In 2 years that I start raising noise, that I start being publicly viewed, I've had a record. And now it looks like I'm a criminal who has no way of being reformed. But all of these came one after the other. Do you understand? Right. It takes logic.
Well, what about, I mean...
And I absolutely believe that, because like the powers that be do not like reconciliation at all. They do everything that they possibly can to keep people agitated. They do it using race specifically. It is part of an agenda. That's why I'm so hard against this, because I don't want no part of that agenda. I took part of that agenda. I was raised in that agenda, and I refuse to be a part of that. I absolutely fucking refuse. And what he's saying here is true. Like, they will do this to you. They will completely ruin your life for speaking any type of reconciliation message at all, or one of hope for any group at all. And that is true.
I mean, that's another interesting part of your past. Have you ever been incarcerated before?
Have I ever been incarcerated? Yeah. No, not for longer than a day. Longer enough for somebody to take me. You know, the police can arrest anybody they want, put them in jail.
Yeah. But
if you stay there, that, you know what I'm saying, I haven't stayed anywhere. I've been arrested a lot, put in the cell, and they come and get me when I call my lawyer. You know what I'm saying? But I'm an innocent type of guy.
Well, I wanted to bring up, I mean, obviously tomorrow is a big day. You're being sentenced tomorrow. Yeah. And, you know, we're sitting here in 24 hours. You'll know what the situation's going to be. Are you thinking about the prospect of going to jail?
First, I was like, I'm not going to jail. I was like, if they try to come get me for something I didn't do, I'm going to open fire. You know what I'm saying? But I can't do that because it's not just me anymore. You know what I'm saying? That's what they expect. If I have to, if God sees it fit for me to spend time in a cell, if he wants my brain to be inside of a cage, if he's brought me so far from hell to put me here, and now he wants me to go to jail, I'll go. You know what I'm saying? If that's where I'm meant to be. But I don't think so. I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? I don't really believe in my heart that I belong in jail. I don't believe I did anything to warrant me going to jail.
Okay. What do you think, if you do go to jail, is to be expected because you are a known personality?
I'm going to ask to be put in solitary confinement, and I'm going to do push-ups and read books. Come out weed-free, smoke-free, and with a degree or some shit. You know what I'm saying? I won't let it stop me, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to jail to just parlay. If I went to jail, best believe it's not like I'm going to have a problem in jail. I got love there, you know what I'm saying? I got love from thugs and the street dudes. And I can go to jail and probably organize a riot, you know what I'm saying? But that's not what I want to do. If I have to go to jail, I don't even want to be living. I want to just cease to exist for however long they have me there. And then when I come out, I'll be reborn, you know what I'm saying? I'll be taking less problems. And my mind will be sharper and the venom will be more potent, you know what I'm saying? So they shouldn't send me there.
I'm with that.
They should really try to, you know, it's like you don't throw more gasoline on the fire to put it out.
Mm-hmm. What about, I mean, this is one step and there's some other, you know, cases that are going to be coming up. What has changed for you? And you mentioned the last 2 years is when everything started to happen one after the other. What changed for you in these 2 years? How is your life now different than it was before?
Like I said, you know, it was no spot for Tupac. It's not like there was somebody like me before,
right?
And I moved into the spot so I can ask him how he did it. You know what I'm saying? There was no spot here. Nobody wanted to be, you know.
But see, that's true for every great. Like every great. Nobody gets handed a spot and becomes great. And if they do, they're not really great, right? Like Pac is great because he made his own spot. Most of the artists I cover on this channel are great because they are making their own spot. Like they're not going and saying, give me this. The reason I fell off of music completely is because they were making people great who did not deserve it. The real greats force their way in. They don't get accepted by the mainstream. They just do their shit. And you just got to deal with it.
The person that thugs and the street people could rally around. Nobody wanted to be that. So when I was that, I couldn't handle it. You know what I'm saying? I could handle it, but not right away. Of course, I had problems. I was making mistakes that anybody would make when you have 14,000 people ready to do whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? When you have all over the country people waiting to hear what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? This thug life code, we have a code putting order to the violence on the streets. And when they all listening to you, I got people in the penitentiary, you know what I'm saying, big time OG criminals who are calling me, telling me they want me to lead their movement. I mean, I'm going to have a problem, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to have a small identity crisis here, you know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, I was from a single father, you know what I mean? A single mother with no father, no male figure. Now I got every man in America who wants to take an order from me, you know what I'm saying? Who wants to know what I want to do or, you know, what's my plan for young black males. And that makes me scared, but that makes me want to rise to the occasion, you know what I'm saying? What makes me want to give my whole life to them. And I will give my whole life to this plan that I have for thug life.
Now, when you said a code, I don't know exactly what do you mean by a code?
I organized the OGs in the East Coast and the West Coast and the penitentiaries to come up with a set of codes of ethics for criminals, you know. Like, we're going to be against drive-bys, kidnappings, attacks on people that are not involved with the street gang, with the drug trade or the illegal business at all. You know, all that kidnapping and shooting drive-bys out the car, we against that. And people who perpetrate that, they have to deal with the consequences when they go to jail, because that's who's going to enforce this code and the thug life that's on the street. It's like we cleaning up the dirt. I can't change.
I'm with that.
What the dirt that's here, but I can put all this dirt in one corner. You know what I'm saying? Somehow have some order here. And for that, they need to give me a little leg room. You know what I'm saying? Let me do what I want to do because nobody else is going to do it. Nobody else wants to do it.
I'm with that. Like, I really am. Like, y'all, this is your first video, you don't know, but, like, I grew up rough. I grew up around bikers. I grew up as a single mom household. Both my brother's dads were not in the picture. My mom had 2 kids with no help. She worked in bars, she worked in biker bars, and we hung out with bikers. And like, there's a whole history of criminality that I am intimately familiar with from my entire childhood. It is baked into the bones of me. And so I understand what he's talking about here. And like, the bikers have a code like that. And there are other organizations that have a code like that. And like, I know these organizations. I ain't calling no names of any specific organization. I never will. But I am familiar with several of the actual organizations. And like, they have these type of codes where they don't involve the innocent. They don't deal with, like, there's kidnappings, but when you kidnap somebody, it is the one. Like, that is the one that you need, and it's not for ransom. You feel me? Like, there is that, and somebody does need to step up and do that. I'm glad that he was doing that then. I wish somebody would do it now, because we just had a baby die like 3 days ago right here in Baton Rouge. Like, right here, right up the road. 6 people shot, but one of them was a baby. And like, where's this at now? Like, what that's why they killed him, because he was trying to clean that up. And they don't want that cleaned up. They want people dead. Like, the people in charge of this are the racists. And when I say they're racist, they don't believe that you are humans. And they want everybody killing each other. Like, they believe that I am a subhuman because I am not of that pure line, right? So they do believe that I am a subhuman. They believe that Pac was a subhuman. They probably believe that you are. Like, you're probably not of the correct ethnicity for them one-eyed people to fuck with you in the way that even some of the players think they're getting fucked with. Anyway.
But I'm not scared to walk in the middle of Watts, Compton, Chicago, wherever, and sit down with whoever's the OG and say this is what we need to do. I didn't want to change. I love that, you know, even though I was with Janet Jackson, with big movies and all that, I'll be up at the dirtiest house party in the hood. And people could not believe it. And I used to thrive off that. Being up in the party and somebody turn around and go, oh my God, that's too much. And everybody going crazy because I'm up in the dirty party, no security, lights out, drinking, hella drunk, you know, drunk with everybody else. But that's what kept my sanity. That's what kept me right, and that's what kept me going. My fans know that I'm real. My fans go to jail just like me. They understand me. Half my fans are white. The white fans, they listen just as much as the black fans. The ones that have approached me, I've been genuine fans. These are the people that are gonna have jobs in the future and are gonna hire my family.
Right. That's how we change the culture right there. And that's what I was talking about earlier. It's like less of the focus on the melanin, more on raising up and being with people.
But many of my fans don't have ID. Some have jobs, some don't. Some are on welfare, you know what I'm saying? Some are not. Some are rich and some are poor, but they all share that hopeless feeling. Thug life hit me like the Holy Ghost. It cuts both ways. To me, it's like, when I say I live the thug life, baby, I'm hopeless. One person might hear that and just like the way it sounds, you know what I'm saying? But I'm doing it for the kid that really lives a thug life and feels like it's hopeless. So when I say hopeless, and when I say when I say it like that, it's like I reach him. You understand?
Right.
And even if when I reach him, it makes it look glorious to the guy that doesn't live that life, I mean, I can't help it, it's a fad, you know. He'll drop the thug life soon enough. But for the person that I was trying to reach, he'll pick it up and I'll be able to talk to him again.
Right.
I think I'm being responsible, but it's hard. Once you start worrying about what you're saying, I get writer's block. Kind of like, I can't say that, that's too harsh, can't say this. Now I have to just block it out and trust my heart that I'm doing the right thing. When did I ever say I was a gangster rapper? You know what I'm saying? I'm a thug. When I'm saying thug, I mean not criminal, someone to beat you over the head. I mean the underdog. If the person that had nothing succeeds, he's a thug. Because he overcame all obstacles. It doesn't have anything to do with the dictionary's version of thug. To me, thug is my pride. Not being someone that goes against the law, not being someone that takes, but being someone that has nothing. And that even though I have nothing and there's no home for me to go to, my head is up high. My chest is out, I walk tall, I talk loud, I'm being strong. I don't understand why America doesn't understand thug life. America is thug life.
That's true. And it's because of like the media spins shit and keeps people ignorant, and they're gonna try and keep the division as much as possible, and so they don't understand thug life because it's never explained to them. Like this, live free or die. They know that. They go with that.
What makes me saying I don't give a fuck different than Patrick Henry saying give me liberty or give me death?
Exactly.
What makes my freedom less worth fighting for than Bosnians or whoever they want to fight for?
And it's funny because I went over to Bosnia Herzegovina right after
This year.
Before Thug Life, when you were with Digital, working as a roadie and as a dancer, was that real? When I mean, I just read that you used to like do dance, you know, the dances with the plastic.
Dance with the naked dog. That was me. That's what I mean by I'm real. I'm truly hardcore because I needed the money and I had to work. So if he told me that for me to get paid, I had to go out there in bikini briefs and hop on top of this dog, and that's how I got to get paid. And I was homeless at the time. That's what I had to do. You know what I'm saying? But what I did was not let him pimp me. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like I just did that because that was my order. As soon as I got the chance to say what was on my mind, I said what was on my mind. And we have a platinum record now. You know what I'm saying? So I went from dancing naked with the dolls, being unknown, to now having a platinum record. You know what I'm saying? And now I don't have to never touch another naked doll. I'll never have to dance, jiggle, nothing. I can hire dancers. You know what I'm saying? I got 3 people dancing. I can have people dancing in the audience. You know what I'm saying? Well, you have to work from one point to go to another point. So I admire the work ethic. I think that it should be reinforced throughout our neighborhoods, that everybody should work hard. Practice makes perfect. You have to be diligent about what you want. You have to apply yourself. You have to motivate yourself. And you have to do it for self, by yourself.
That every day. You know, that's what I talk about every day, right? Like, not every day, obviously, but like that's what we talk about here is exactly what he's saying. Like, ain't nobody gonna do it for you. You got to do it for you. And like, you should have every opportunity to do it, but nobody should guarantee your outcome.
And then you can do things for other people. But that's what I had to do. I had to do for self.
Do you feel in any way by having a 40, having a gun and a blunt, if that's glorifying the use of that to children?
It might. I thought about that, you know. I thought about how much that.
And see, that's why I'm selective about what I cover, because I do believe that. I do believe that. I use weed, right? I smoke weed because I have medical problems, and it helps me with my medical problems. It keeps me off of opioids, which is the devil. And so, like, I don't try to glorify it. Like, and I try to minimize the exposure to it on my channel. Like, you're not going to see a whole lot of drugging and clubbing and whoring or any of that on my channel. There have been several songs that would have gotten me thousands of views that I have deleted because it had that in there. And not just in one genre either. Like, that spreads all the way across. If it's about drinking or drugging or whoring, I'm not gonna promote that. I'm not gonna amplify that message, because I do believe that that is a thing. God knows it was driven into me as a child.
You know, the 40s and all of that, and I was kind of against it before, but whatever I wrote was honest. It might not have been positive, you know what I'm saying?
And there's a difference between talking about, yeah, we're drinking, and this whole culture of Zanny, 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 right? Like, that's what I'm talking about, like, that kind of stuff. Like, there's a difference. I said it before, like, Tennessee Whiskey, the song Tennessee Whiskey is entirely about alcohol. The entire song, from one side to the other, references alcohol, right? But it's not about drinking. And so it's that differentiation. Like, you can sing about alcohol or drugs or whatever in the message of this is my life without saying everybody should be doing it. And my thing is, if you're promoting that everybody should be drinking or drugging or whoring, then I'm just not going to amplify.
It might not have been politically correct, but I reached somebody. You know what I'm saying? They relating to me. They relating to the brutal honesty in the rap. There's no Jesse Jacksons around. You know what I'm saying? Those people weren't around. All those people that pop up and say, we need to check what we saying in the rapping and TV. Those people are not around. It's Frank Sinatra, a gangster singer. You know what I'm saying? There's Steven Seagal, a gangster actor. I rap about the oppressed taking back their place. My lyrics and my verses are about struggling and overcoming. I mean, women know that there are bitches out there. I don't know why women look surprised. They know. They say it louder. They just think that we're saying they're all bitches. That's not what we're saying.
I give a holler to my sisters on welfare. Tupac kids, if don't nobody else care.
And that's what I try to do with Keep Your Head Up and Get Around. I said, I'm gonna write a song about the women like my mom or the women like my sister, who I think represent a strong black woman. I did that. Now I'm gonna rap about the women that I see every day, and that was Get Around. If I just did songs like Keep Your Head Up, it would make me seem more than what I am, but I'm just a normal man. I get love. I still get love from my community. I owe them everything. That's what I owe everything to the hood. I cannot give it up. I don't understand how people could stand next to you 1 year and next year they cannot stand there. They just going crazy screaming. They just can't take it that you're right there. But just last year I was in the same club walking around lonely like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Couldn't get a date. Couldn't get nobody to dance with me. I was too skinny, too something. And now he's just adorable. He's just, oh.
Well, how did your relationship
There's a difference right there.
or lack of a relationship with your father influence who you are today?
Because I didn't have a father, I thrived for the family, you know what I'm saying? So that's what made me be able to do this work. That's what makes me be able to accept all black people as my family. You know, that's part of my downfall. But because I didn't have a father, it makes me cold and bitter. Not just as the excuse. I know people are tired of hearing, oh, you have a father, we had a rough life. But
It's the truth, though. Like, people try to trivialize that, but like, we have an epidemic of that, right? And I can speak on that because I lived through that. I made the choice, and my children wouldn't. Like, nothing short of death is going to keep me from my kids. And they grown now, but that was a thing. That was a decision that I made because I grew up without that. Like, I did. My dad was in prison for most of my childhood. Like, I got to see him on the weekends if him and mama were getting along all right. Hey, and that was if my grandma would pick me up and bring me. Like, she had to come drive out, pick me up, and then drive all the way the other way. And, like, it was a whole big old hassle. I didn't get to see my dad. And so I idolized that gangster shit because that's where he was. And it is a detrimental force to not have a positive male role model. And I dare anybody to say it ain't. Like all these people saying, oh, well, 2 women can raise a kid just as well. No, they cannot. Now, that child may turn out all right. It may. And I'm not saying that 2 women shouldn't be able to do that. I'm not. What I'm saying is it is not the same as having a man and a woman in the household. There are 2 different energies there. There are 2 different ways of life there. And it shows a child something that is fundamentally necessary.
I mean, you have to be logical, you know what I'm saying? The reason I didn't have a father, it's not like I'm saying, okay, now sympathize with me. I'm saying, remember that I'm telling you I did not have a father. So when you go, what kind of kid is that? What kind of morals do we got? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I was raised by a Black Panther, you know, and out of jail, I was raised on, by a lot of street people. So, of course, my values are real street-orientated. But that doesn't mean that I don't have any values or I don't have any morals. You know what I'm saying? It's just that my morals are applied to the people who I'm around.
If you had a father figure growing up, how would you be different? Would you be different right now?
I think I'd probably be a lawyer somewhere, you know.
And that's true, but how can you ask somebody that fucking question? Like, what kind of fucking question is that? Well, if your dad was there, what kind of a person do you think you would be? Bitch!
Because I wouldn't have hung out. I wouldn't have looked for that father figure. And I wouldn't have learned all this treacherous street game that now I can't forget. Because I was
We gonna run that back.
You know, because I wouldn't have hung out. I wouldn't have looked for that father figure. And I wouldn't have learned all this treacherous street game that now I can't forget. Because I was raised by a woman half my life and then thrown to the streets, it's like I got the woman side, then I got real rough, manly values like forced on me.
And then not even good men who are taking care of their family and doing the right thing, but street men. I feel you, bro.
So sensitive. Don't be so sensitive, too. Well, basically,
Boogaloo. Marlon Wayans, I'm playing the role of Boogaloo.
What is Boogaloo?
Where did that name come from, first of all?
Some white guys didn't know. What's a homeboy hip-hop name? Boogaloo!
What are they calling each other these days?
I got a song called Pain. I wrote it as soon as I got out of jail after getting charged, and I felt it, you know what I'm saying? Basketball is, and I hate to make this sound cliche, you know, like, all us black folks need to get out the ghetto is a basketball.
Or dance.
You know what I'm saying? But it's not like that in this story. It's not like basketball in terms of him going to college. It's just basketball in terms of there being something for him to concentrate on, you know, something for him to get his mind away from the negative.
That's the action in our movie, is the basketball. It's like guns in Die Hard. You know, it's the action.
I like playing the bad guy, but I want to play a bad guy that's for real, like a Robert De Niro or Harvey Keitel, you know what I'm saying, with some substance and character, you know, and not just a crazy fool with a gun.
Yeah.
I chose a razor because in the streets of New York and the club scenes, you know, the thugs carry razors in their mouth. And when they get into altercation, they spit it out and cut. You know what I'm saying? I was amazed. I was like, that's raw. That would really scare somebody. And that was part of the fear that I wanted to bring to Birdie. It must be hard for a director to have his main
I seen that.
character.
I saw that it was a Cuban. I was like, when I did my 7 days in jail, right? This dude had a razor blade in his mouth like that, and he would spit it and stick it in a fucking apple. Like, he would do that all day, every day.
In jail, you know what I'm saying? And you have to shoot tomorrow, you know what I'm saying? But they never let me feel that. You know, I came on the set and it was just like, I left last night. Am I crazy or what? Hell no, I ain't crazy. I wasn't crazy when you was interviewing me. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't crazy when we were sitting up there when I had the pain in my... But it's okay, they gotta sell, you know, magazines, and that's fine. You know, I understand. But to me, we just had a long interview. I don't seem crazy, you know what I'm saying? I seem logical. What's really going on is this is a crazy world. And if you're not a tad bit crazy, you will not survive.
That's a good spot to drop it on. Huh? All right, so that was interesting. I know I pissed some of y'all off. Most of y'all didn't hang around to the end, but that's all right. 'Cause I'm okay with that. This was great information. I love seeing more of this. I'm going to get into his music soon. I wanted to get some more of the backstory. I wanted to get some more of who he was as a person. Because I'm weird like that. And this is great. I can't wait to get into some music. Like, I'm into the more positive stuff. I am. I'm into the more uplifting of the messages. So if I do a Tupac bit and it is about drinking or drugging or whoring or beef or disses or any of that, then I'm not going to do it. There have been plenty of videos that I've done that I've just deleted because it was about those things. And I don't do those things. I do the positive uplifting, amplifying of good voices. If you see it here, chances are it's a good message. This was great. I love it. I wish I could tell Tupac thank you, but unfortunately I can't because they took him out. To the crew, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate every single minute that you were here with me. And I am praying for you every single day. Till next time, this has been Pit Steak. Peace.